So I will just give the introduction about Java and we can go ahead. In case if you have any doubts or anything, you can just use the chat to ask your questions. So I think the messages are enabled. Yeah. So whoever is having any doubts, you can just immediately ask your questions. So now I hope you people can able to see my screen actually here. Okay. So first of all, why Java became very popular is one thing is platform independent. So platform independent means whatever the code that we are developing in my system, which is in Mac, it can be directly executed in the Windows or it can be executed in the Linux also. Okay, so this is a main reason why this Java has become very popular during 1995 and 2000, because during those times which each programming languages needs its own compiler for each and every operating system. So and we need to write the code based on the operating system also. Now Java has this concept of platform independent during the 2000, because nowadays it's not an issue, but during the 2000 and all these things. Okay, so during the 2000 and all these things, we will not have any the system independence. We need to write a lot of codes for each and every system. To avoid that scenario, Java came up with the idea called independent code, which means we can write any system, but it can be compiled into Java bytecode. This bytecode can be run in the operating system. So Java coding is platform independent, but JDK is platform dependent. Okay, this you need to understand. So as we all know, the code which we are writing is platform independent, which means whatever I am writing in my system can be compiled in the Linux or Windows. But the JDK which we are using, right, that is depends on the operating system. So for example, I think yesterday itself you might know the JDK which we are using, right? So it is platform dependent. So as you can see here, if I am using Linux, I need to install Linux JDK. If I want to use Mac OS, then I need to install Mac JDK as well as Windows JDK, which means the JDK whatever we are using, it is platform independent, but Java code is platform dependent actually here. Okay, so in terms of I hope now you understood why Java can be called as a Java platform independent. But however, when it comes to uh, coding, it is independent, but JDK is not an independent actually here. Okay, I hope you guys understood this scenario. Now back to this concept, and as usual, this compilation process we will see later. So Java is not just working with the only PCs. We can be useful with Android mobile devices as well as some embedded programming also it was used, but nowadays it is not that much popular in the embedded programming as far as I know. But in an Android, of course, it is developed with the Java only. As we all know, the mobile applications are still using Java for in Android apps actually for native applications. Okay, so these are all the things. So coming to this first program of Java actually here. Okay, so there is some instructions or rules will be there in order to create a first Java file. I will just tell you what are all the steps that we need to add actually here. Okay, so first point that in order to create a Java programming is the file name should be ends with a .java actually here. Okay, so we can say file name should ends with the Java. So you may ask a question like why can't we use any other name? Still it can be possible, but the standard is always ends with .java. For example, text file means .txt, ppt means like PowerPoint means .ppt, pdf means .pdf, right? The same way file name, Java file name always ends with .java. And one more main thing is standard actually here. The first letter of the file name should be capital. Okay, so first letter should be capital. It's like a standard of Java actually here. Okay, it is one thing. So you may have a question like can't we create a lowercase? Yet yes, you can able to create it, still it will work, but okay, but the standard is always first letter should be capitalized actually here. Okay, this is one reason that Java people, you can see in all of the applications they will follow the same structure, that first letter should be capital. Even if you are referring any library, Java library, all these things will be starts with the first letter of capital actually here. Okay, so each Java class, we can say each Java class should have one main function. Okay, main function. So then only the execution will happen. The third one is optional, by the way. Without main function also we can able to write, but whenever you want to execute the particular class, we need the main function. Okay, so all the Java classes we can say are Java file. We can say, for your understanding, I could say that all the Java files should have one main function. Okay, without main function the execution will not start. Maybe I could say like this, it will not throw any error, but I can say without main function execution will not happen, will not start. That would be good actually. Okay, but it will not throw any error, but execution will not happen actually here. Okay, so this is the main standard in order to run the Java programming. Okay, so yesterday itself we saw about JDK. Okay, JDK is Java development kit, which is helps us to run our Java programming. Okay, so this we installed. I hope you people are installed this code in your system. So, and also we are using IntelliJ. Okay, so IntelliJ is a powerful IDE, which is integrated development environment, which helps us to create a Java project as well as to compile the Java project. Okay, now how the compilation process is happening in the Java code. So let me show you. Okay, I hope you can see this diagram actually here. So as per this diagram you can clearly see our code actually here. Okay, so the program.java is the code that we are typing. So compiler, in our case compiler is JDK. So whenever you are compiling the code by using JDK, you can see the class file will be generated. This, from this process you don't need to worry. Okay, so our developer work is only the first step. You can see here the lot of steps are there. So our developer work is, our code should work in the compiler and it should produce a Java class. Okay, which is this class file. Okay, so only the first step as a developer we need to care. Other process Java itself will take care actually here. Okay, so first we need to create a proper code. That code has to be compiled in the Java compiler and it goes to the class file. This class file will be generated by the Java compiler if your code everything is working perfectly. Then from program class, which is the class file generated by your Java class, it can be again run by your JVM. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. So this machine will run your Java class. It creates a bytecode and this code will be executed in your system. So the last three process, the class file, JVM, program, everything will be taken care by the Java JDK and JVM itself. So our developer work is only the first step. Okay, so this is how easy the Java actually here. So all the codes will be taken care by the JDK and JVM. Our work is only to make sure the code is working fine actually here. Okay, so as we know, this compilation process also, if you want we can do in command line, but as of now we are using IntelliJ. So even the compilation process, the first step, right, that will also taken care by the IntelliJ. So only thing is we need to type the code according to our requirement. Okay, so only the first step only we need to do as per the requirement properly. Okay, so once it is done, remaining process will be smoothly happen by our IDE as well as by the JDK and the JVM. Okay, so I hope you guys understood this basic process of compilation. Yes, so now I am using a IntelliJ. Okay, so guys, if you can able to open IntelliJ along with me, that is also fine. Just take some 30 seconds, open your IntelliJ. Okay, so if you open this project, if you open this IntelliJ, you can go to the new project. You can click on the button, right? So if this available, you can go for this one. Otherwise you can see the file new project. Okay, so either way it is fine, but only thing is you need to create a new project. Just click on this one. You can see this window will come. It is asking the project name and where you want to store the project. All these things it will ask you. So you can just give us sample Java. So don't give any space, better. So we can say sample project. Okay, so don't give any space in the project name, and the location it will take some default location. If you are comfortable with that location, you can go with the location. Otherwise you can use whatever the location that you want, and below that it will ask you to use the JDK. So by default IntelliJ will take the default JDK. If not, then you have to select it wherever you are using. Otherwise, if you are comfortable with the default JDK, that is absolutely fine. So keep the JDK whatever you are install. By default, IntelliJ will take care of this thing. So I hope you need to give three things actually here. So your project name, your location if you want to change, JDK if you want to change. So once you've done all these things, don't need to change anything. Just to click on create, immediately your project will be created. So only simple steps to create a project. Okay. So guys, yes, as you can see here, the class is generated, right? Anyone having any issues regarding this project creation? Okay, fine. So if anyone having any issues regarding the project creation, we will connect after this one. So now you can just remove the existing code, whatever it is generated, not everything, only this one. So keep this code alone in your system. So everything you can remove it. So keep this main class, which is already there in the project. So all these things you can keep it, don't remove. Only whatever is available between this one, you can just remove it. Keep this code alone. Okay. So yes, can you just do this one? Just keep. Okay. Yeah. So now what you need to do, you have to type system dot out dot println. Okay. So if you can see here, in C++, in C and all, you might know C out and printf, right? So it is also the exact statement in our Java, system.out.println. Okay, so this statement is only for learning purposes. Okay, so this we will not use in the real-time programming. So this is just for our understanding, like how the flow is working, or if you want to print something, we can use this one. But we should not use this sysout in the real-time programming. So, but however, system.out.println, between the double quotes, whatever the content that you are adding, that will get printed. Okay, so for example, I will mention hello world actually here. Okay, so just add this system dot, and then you can see between the double quotes, you can just whatever you want to type, you can type it, and then you can see some run icon will be there, the green color icon. So click on this icon. If you don't want to click on this one, right click on the file anywhere, you can see run option will come. Okay, so either you can go for right click, or you can go for this icon. Otherwise, in the menu itself, you will have a run option. So here also you can able to run your file. Okay, so some shortcut is also there, as you can see here. So if you want, you can use it. Otherwise, you can just click on the right click on run. So you can see immediately the hello world will be printed in your console. So can you guys confirm this output is coming here? So just add this out. Okay, in case if you have any issues regarding the programming, just put it in the WhatsApp group, the screenshot, whatever the error that you are having, right? Thank you. I think 2 people gets the output. That is good. So if anyone having any issues, just, yeah, thank you, 3 people. Okay, thank you, 2 people. So anybody needs any other support? I think those whoever is not completed, I am asking. I think 2 or 3 people said okay for everything. So I am asking those who are not completed, do you need any steps or do you need any support? Without hesitation, you can just ask your queries in the chat, or you can use group also. Fine. So now the next thing is we are going to define the variable. Okay, so what is variable? So variable means whenever you want to store any data, we need the variable. Okay, so as you can see here, the hello world, whatever I am using here, it cannot be reusable. Okay, so if I want to use this hello world one more time, then again I need to type this same exact word. Okay, instead of this exact word, if I want to use this same word in the different thing, we can use the variable actually here. For example, I want to create one variable called number. Okay, so equal to 45. So in the max and all, you people know, right? So this is a left side is the variable, right side is the value. Okay, so now here I am using one data type. Okay, what is this data type means? The variable which we are creating, what type of data it's going to store, it's kind of data type. Again I am telling the variable which we are using, right? So what type of data it's going to store. So in my case, my number is the variable. I want to store it as a whole number. Okay, integer number. So I am using a int. Okay, so there is a list of data types will be there. As of now we will see only basic things actually. So integer is a variable, sorry, data type which helps to store only whole numbers, to store the number. Okay, so in case if you want to store decimal number, then we have a variable called float. So in the float we can say price equal to some random number I am giving f actually. So what it means is this will store decimal values, to store the decimal numbers. Okay, so now you may have a question like, can't we store the decimal number in this one? Yes, we cannot able to store. For example, let me show you. Integer number 2 equal to some random thing I am using. So as you can see here, even though the integer it will accept for the whole number, still it will not accept, because this integer will store only the integer number, it will not accept the decimal number. For decimal number we need to use float, we should not use actually this integer. Okay, so this is how you need to use this one, and I hope you people understood this data type. And there is another data type called boolean. So boolean is nothing but true or false. So whenever you want to use true or false, we need to use boolean. So I can use any variable name. So status equal to false. So what it means is this boolean variable will store only the true or false actually here. So true or false. Apart from this true or false, I cannot able to use any value to the status variable. Okay, so I hope you guys understood these things actually here. Okay, so still some more points are there. I will send you in the WhatsApp chat what all the variables are there actually here. Okay, so as of now just consider these are all the variables for different data type. So now the next step is, if I want to print this value in my output as output, how can I able to do? So what I can do, I can use sysout. Okay, the same thing, system.out.println. Here you can mention your variable. So in our case it is a number. So the line number 5, whichever I am having the number, I am printing in the line number 10th place. Okay, so the same thing I can do it for other variables also. So I want to print my price, it is also possible. I want to print my status, it is also possible actually here. Okay, so like this you can able to define the variable and print the variables actually here. I want to perform some addition, subtraction and all these things. So that is also, it's easy. So maybe just to give some space, and here I will just mention integer num1 equal to some number, some random number I am giving. Integer num2 equal to some random number. Okay, so what will happen is, now I have declared the two number and I want to perform the addition. So generally in max we all know we will have one variable called x equal to something like that. Here also I am using, so num1 plus num2. So here what's happening is, like, I am just having a two variables that is added together, and the result will be stored in the variable called x actually here. Okay, so after addition, result is stored in the x actually here. Okay, is it understandable? So now the next step, if I want to print the value, then we can do like this actually here. So here I can mention x. So what will happen now, my result would be stored in the variable called x. So if I run the program, you can easily understand. So 101. So 101 means 56 plus 45. You can find the 101 actually here. Okay, so you can do this one, or if you want to take, you can take this one. So you can take the task as you can perform like multiplication, division and all these things. So whatever we are using in the max, right, same plus minus. For multiplication we used to have other programming languages, we used to have star, right? Here also we are having the same one. For division also we have the same thing. Okay, so if you guys good with that, we can go for the next step, or if anybody needs some time, let me know, I will help you. Just wait for 30 seconds, then we can go for the next concept. Some people might feel like we are going very fast there, of course, because within the short span of time we have to complete it, right? So try to grasp whatever is available in the class This is how you need to define the variables, and you can just print the variable in whichever way you want. Okay, so the next thing is we are going to see the methods. Okay, so still now we just saw about how to define the variable will help you to just assign one value to the variable, but if you want to use some logics that can be used in the multiple places, then we need the functions. So for example, I want to create an addition function, so that function will just perform the addition and it gives me the result. So for example, this line will just add those two numbers. Okay, so now I am having a two more number, that for that number also I want to perform this addition, means then I don't want to write this type of logic. So I can write one common method. Method means it can be called from anywhere in the programming. So for example, I can write like void. Okay, so method name is add, then like this. Then what will happen, if I want to execute this logic add, then I can call it anywhere in the project actually here. Okay, so do the same thing. I can just copy the logic, that addition logic is there now, I can copy this one. But now you may have a question like, where is this num1 and num2? Okay, because inside the function whatever I am declaring, that will be available only within the function. For example, whatever I am doing within the function, it is available only within the function. So whatever I am doing in this one will be available only within this one. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to add a parameter. Parameter means whenever I am calling the function, it has to match the it has to pass this values. For example, I can do something like this. So parameter means within the bracket I need to mention integer num1 comma integer num2. Okay, so what it means is whenever I am calling this function, I need to pass this parameter which is matching this variable. Now automatically Java will get this value and assign to this one actually here. Okay, so this will be taken care by the Java itself. Our work is we need to create a function within the with the parameter, and we are using this parameter in order to perform this addition. Okay, now as usual, the same sysout I am just copy it and I will paste it here. Now what will happen, whenever the addition is happening, it will get automatically printed in the output. Okay, so you can call it at any time. So you can call it this function anywhere in the programming, and just by passing the number, it will perform this addition and it will get immediately printed in the function actually here. Okay, so this is how the advantage of this method actually here. Okay, but now you may have a question like, if I run the program, can we able to see the output line number 23? Let me show you. So if I run the program, you can see here this output is not at all coming. You can see here till the line number 18 I can see the output, but if I want to see this addition, it is not working. Okay, so the reason is, this is where our Java will come into the picture, which is JDK. Our JDK, whenever compiles our programming, what it does is it just executes only the main function. Okay, so public static void main. So this is kind of main function which is available in which is declared in the Java to execute. For example, I think if you people know the C++, there we have the main function, right? It is also the same concept. So here we are telling this is the main function which it can execute, or it starts the execution. Okay, so we all know home, right? In the home we have a door, the main door. The same way in Java application, the execution will start from this place only. Okay, in case if this function is not available, we cannot able to execute the code. So always in Java, the execution will start from this place only. Okay, so whatever you want to execute, it has to put it here only. Okay, now if I want to execute this addition, what I need to do, it has to execute from this place. Okay, so how can I able to do that? So as it is main function, we cannot directly call this function. Okay, so for that we need to create a one object. Object is nothing but it is like a object, or we can say it is like a some variable which helps us to access the methods or properties of the particular class. For example, the syntax for creating the object is class name object equal to new class name. Okay, So this is the way we need to create object. This is just a syntax for the creating the object in Java. So in our way of implementation, main is the class name, correct? So main, and object can be anything. I am mentioning mobj. Okay, so it's all your wish, guys. So mobj is object name, it can be anything. So equal to new main. Okay, now what will happen, whenever execution is starts, it creates an object for this main class. Now using this object I can able to directly call this method. For example, mobj dot add. As you can see here, addition is coming. Now as I told you, I need to pass those parameter. Okay, so because this function is expecting two parameters, so and the parameter should be integer. So what I am telling, 10 comma 14. So what it means is this function should have these parameters, otherwise it will not accept. And one more thing, using this object I can able to call at any time with a different parameter. So I will mention like 30, I will mention like some random numbers I am mentioning. Okay, so now if I run the program, you can clearly see the output for these lines. One second, let me, yeah, can you see this one, right? So 10 plus 14 24, and 54 plus 30 84, and 100 plus 14 114. Okay, so all these things are happening because we are just calling those functions by using the main actually here. Okay, so this is the concept of calling the functions by using the object. Okay, so just try this one, take just 1 minute or 2 minutes also fine. So once you're done, put thumbs up. I will add a comment actually. I will share the source code also, guys. You don't need to worry. I will share the source code. I will share the material also actually here. Yes. I will create on GitHub repository. So in that repository, you can find those regularly. You can find the codes. So as of now, we can just keep this class. I am going to create a new one, because if I am creating again and again in the same class, it will be very tough for you to refer the class. So now I am going to create a new class. Okay, so keep the class as it is. I am going to create a new one. So new Java class. So to create a new class, you can right click on the project, you can find a new option, click on the class, or otherwise there is a folder called src. Right click on the src, again go to the new option. Under the new option you can find there is a Java class. So click on the Java class, you can mention the name of your class. Okay, so you can name whatever the name that you want, but as of now I am going to mention what I mentioned, I will mention as sample. Okay, so this is my class which is as sample actually here. Okay, so yes, now IntelliJ will take care of everything. So it creates my Java file with the extension of .java, and my class name is also same as the class name, sorry, file name. So everything is created properly. Okay, so now inside this class I am going to add a simple function, okay, which is like void print message, open bracket close bracket, open curly brace close curly brace. Okay, so here I am just adding a sysout, the same thing only. Okay, println I will mention as sample hello world. Okay, so what it means is I am also doing the same thing whatever we did it in the previous one, but now I am doing manually. Okay, so I have a class and I have a one simple function of void. Void means I don't want to return anything. So regarding this one that we will learn tomorrow what is this void and all these things. As of now, just understand this scenario. So void and the print message, it can be anything, and open bracket close bracket, open curly brace close curly brace. Okay, so now if I want to execute this class, it cannot be possible. For example, right click, you cannot find the run option. Why there is no run option means, because as we know, whenever you want to execute any Java class, we need a main function. Without main function, we cannot execute any Java class. Okay, so without main function, can't run our Java class actually here. Okay, so this is the reason that why we cannot have the run option for this class actually here. Okay, yes, so guys, can you also do the same thing? I will tell you what is the solution for this one. Just to create a class called sample, and inside the class you can just create a void print message, and just add sysout and print whatever the text that you want. Okay, so guys, now the solution for this one, we need to create a main function. Okay, how to create a main function? It is public static void main. Okay, so you have to remember this syntax, which is public static void main. So public static void main. Okay, this is syntax for the main function. We can say to start the execution. So yes, here what we need to do, we need to create a object for this sample. Now first you have to remember the steps. So you need to create a main function. Inside the main function you need to create an object. So how to create an object? Class name object equal to new class name. This is the second step. Now using this object you can call it whatever you want. So yes, obj dot print message, that's it. Okay, so this is the steps: creating the class, creating the main function, creating the object, using the object, whatever you want you can call. So now if I run the program, oh sorry, this also you need to add string args. Okay, so now you can see my run option will be enabled. Now we can able to call the file. So just click on this one, you can see the output. Yes, so you can see the output is coming actually here.